Hello, guys. Excited to be here and Happy New Year to YouTube. I'm thrilled to be here. It is finally 2023 and it is day 2 of Quantum Leap Week. And I was like, but I really want to make a video for YouTube. And God was like, you should give them a peek inside of Quantum Leap Week. So I am here today to share with you. For those who don't know, Quantum Leap Week is 5 days you get to spend with me. I'm coaching for free. Only thing it takes is like your energy, your time, your soul. It is not a for place of people who want to hold on to their sob stories. It is not the place. And we really talk about shifting your consciousness, shifting your soul, shifting your spirit to a new quantum realm to get different results in your life. So we are on day number 2, and we are having an amazing time. And so I decided I never open it up after it's over. The recordings come down, you lose access. But I never share the videos publicly unless it's packaged and you can buy it. Like later this week, the one we did last year in 2022 will be available because every Quantum Leap Week is different. It's like a boot camp. And so it's 5 to 7 hours of content. It's a boot camp with homework, and it's pretty amazing, pretty life-changing, pretty transformational. Okay. And so God was just like, share day 1. Share day 1, Stephanie. And I'm like, well, let me do it. So I'm here, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you an insight into what Quantum Leap Week is, how is it, and for those who aren't even watching it at a time that you can register for it, if you are watching it, say in February or March, or it's time another Quantum Leap Week is here, but you want to experience this one, this is day 1. And depending on when you're watching this, if it's a year or 2 from now, you may be able to actually go grab the whole week for purchase. But I want to give you some insight. It is when I say a powerful week, people leave transformed. Okay. It is literally life-changing. And I'm not saying it because I teach it, because I actually go through it. I do the homework myself. I do the work. Spirit shows up and shows out every single time. So I'm gonna hush, and I'm going to let you experience day 1 of Quantum Leap Week. If I had to, I said I was gonna hush, but wait a minute. If I had to give a title to day 1, I would say clarity. The reason we don't manifest what we desire, co-create what we desire, get what we desire, and often if we get it, it slips from our fingers, is because we don't have true clarity in order to get it and keep it. And so I'm going to talk about clarity. I'm going to talk about the seeds. I'm going to talk about the roots and how this relates to getting what you desire. So you don't want to miss this. Grab your pen, grab your paper, get ready to take notes, and let's go. This is a really important piece of insight for all of you, not just for this week, but moving forward. And this is something that I think will be difficult for a lot of people to get and understand, but the work never stops. This is not like learning to do lead generation. This is not like taking an English course. The work never stops. There's always a new level. There's always an unlayering. There's always the work never stops. I was probably, I'd say 33 or 32, 33 before I even began to step into this world of on the spiritual side. We're not even talking about the subconscious side, because now that's older. But I want to say I was 32 or 33 before I began to discover the works of Florence Scovel Shinn and discover the works of Wallace D. Wattles, and really step into the world of seeing and viewing biblical references in the way that I review them now, understanding that the reason I was stuck in a lack space of a bunch of things is because of the way that I had been taught and been programmed biblically up until that point. Now, since then, I understand that that then goes on to affect the subconscious, which is how we got here. And I didn't get into that work until I was around 36, 37. Okay. I want you to understand that that means that I spent 30 something years with a train of beliefs that had been cemented in for over 30 years. So wherever you are now, understand that your belief systems that you have now, the results that you are seeing in your life, the tangible, this is a table here, the tangible results that you are experiencing in your life is a result of your beliefs up until now. Everything. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. It is a result of that. And it's taking you years and it's cemented in. What a lot of people want to do is come in and immediately have those beliefs gone. And they've been there X number of years. So it takes time. It takes consistency. And I don't even know if this person is here. I haven't seen her in here. But yesterday within the School of Quantum Living, we did a New Year's we did our New Year's training for the month of January. And I was talking to one of the attendees who I watched her build her business to a multi-six-figure business over a couple years. And over the course of one or two unfortunate events within her business, they shifted her mindset back to where she was before because the beliefs weren't fully gone. One thing I want to let you guys know is that money, two things trigger most people: money and love. Money and love. Money and love. The abundance or lack of either one. And both of those will be some of your greatest spiritual test of your life. And I know that is not a common thing that is taught, but both of those will be some of the greatest spiritual tests of your entire life. And we don't always align spiritual or God with either one of those. But if you stop and think about it, stop and think about it. So we're going to get into those as we are moving forward in this week. But I want you to understand that even for her, what happened is, because it was the conversation of money, which was her weaker thing, her spiritual test began, and that very thing pushed her back into the mindset that used to be her dominant mindset. So this happens often, that we can move from a dominant mindset. We can move into a space where there's a new mindset, a new belief system that is dominant. That may not completely be eradicated. It may be laying dormant. Okay. I see someone said, did anyone else lose the live? Are you guys watching me? Can you see me? I'm still seeing people comment, so I'm assuming I'm still here. No, I'm live. It appears that I'm live. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Let me know. I'll pause for 1 second. Is everyone seeing me, hearing me? Perfect. Okay. Well, someone let her know then it's just her and she can restart. Perfect. Thank you so much. So what happens is we can shift our belief system. We can begin to adopt new beliefs, but these other beliefs have been there for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Only you know that based on how old you are or your age and when you began doing this work. They have been laying there. So what happens is we begin to adopt new belief systems, and these belief systems are not actually eradicated. They're not gone, but instead of them being the dominant belief system, they become dormant. And over here, these new belief systems are dominant. And when things show up to trigger the old belief systems, those dormant belief systems wake up and begin to step forward. And we face choice in that moment. We face choice. And our choice is, what do we choose? What do we choose? Do we believe the truth? God's truth? Soul truth? Universal truth? What are we going to choose? See, I want to let you guys know that the only reason you've been experiencing anything other than what your heart truly desires, the only reason you've been choosing anything other than the abundance that exists in all things is because you've been choosing these belief systems. And this is going to be triggering. These lower level beliefs, and dare I say, belief systems of evil. Here, let me tell you why. When we think about God and our vision of God, is your God a God of abundance or a God of lack? Now, again, whether we're talking about money or whether we're talking about love, it's an abundance or a lack thereof. What is your God the God of? Choose this day what you're going to serve. And what has been happening is many of us spent the majority of our lives serving the God that's opposite of the thing that we truly desire. And that one hits hard for many people. Now, I want you to go back through the recording later because that's going to trigger you. That's not going to feel good to your spirits. It's why I always tell you, if you hear any teaching that is of anything other than love and abundance, get the hell out of there. Get out. You have to. Okay. This is actually not where we're going on day one. I got to remember to come back to my phone. It's really important because what happens is when that old dominant belief, which now has been laying dormant, is triggered by the physical 3D things that happen within your life. It wakes up those dormant beliefs, and you have the option to choose which God you're going to serve. The one over here that you've stepped into of love and abundance of all things, of security, of safety, feeling protected. Or are you going to serve this God over here of lack, of fear, of trepidation, of anxiety? Which one are you going to choose? And ultimately, we are faced with that decision every single moment. Every single moment. Every moment. And so I want you to understand that as you move forward in this work, I'm going to call them tests for the sake of this conversation, that these tests will arrive. But y'all, they're not tests, they're life. They're things that come, and it's what are you going to put your eyes on? What are you going to put your attention on? What are you going to put your focus on? And where you put your eyes, your attention, and your focus is where you then bring back in this new belief or begin to adopt new beliefs that don't serve you. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. I also want to tell you today that because of a lot of the teachings and a lot of the things that I'm going to say, depending on how long you have been holding on to these other beliefs, they won't only trigger you, but they will feel uncomfortable. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine. I want to say it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. It may have been yesterday. And I was actually talking about Quantum Leap Week, and I was talking about a friend of mine, and it's a real life friend. We've been friends really all my life, and we used to go to church together as well. And I'll talk to her about certain things, and as soon as it doesn't sound like the way she's been taught it, she's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And I was like, you literally shut down to what your awakening is, because what you're choosing to shut down is the thing to move you from the space that you call me to tell me you want to move out of, because this is the reality. Anything that is completely different than what you're accustomed to, we tend to fear. We tend to fear that. So I am going to share this week from spiritual base as well as a scientific base. I'm going to share from both spaces because I believe that it's important to have science to back things up. And science is finally catching up with the spiritual side, which is very exciting, okay? So just recognize that you may be triggered this week, but journal around it, move through it, do your homework. And I want to remind you that anything that is not on the basis of love and abundance and protection and safety, the levels in which source, God, universe, actually vibrate, that's what's not of God. And things may vibrate there and be uncomfortable to you because they completely break through what your belief system has been thus far. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So we're going to cover both of them. So believe it or not, that wasn't the lesson today, but I'm pretty sure you got a whole bunch. So today we always start out on day one in one space. And when I tell you what it is extremely important. And you're going to know why. And it is clarity. It is clarity. So today I want to make sure that you are very clear on not only what you want this week during Quantum Leap Week, not only what you want this year of 2023, but what you desire truly for your life. And you may tell me, Stephanie, I'm aware, I'm clear of what it is that I want. That may be what you tell me, but almost always we are not. I am consciously and constantly reassessing my goals, my dreams, and my desires. Because even though I just stepped on a cat, sorry, even though we are spiritual beings, we are living within a physical world. We are living within a physical world with more technology than ever before. We are living in a spiritual world with more access to social media than ever before. Will we be able to go back and look at your live videos until the week is over? And when the week is over, you all are all getting put out there. Group. I think I'm taking it down on Sunday. I think was the date I told you guys. Okay. We are living in a world where more technology and social media is available than ever before, which means we also get a peek inside of the lifestyles of the rich and famous and the lifestyles of the fake and broke. You get a peek inside of all of those. And what often happens is when we begin to see external things with other people, things that's available, we think, oh, I would like that too. But as you begin to grow and expand, you often realize that the very things that you thought you desired are actually not true heart's desires. And I have to say that I have been extremely guilty of this, in that there were things I thought I desired in life, and then I get them. I'm happy I have them, like they're cool. And then after a while, I'm like, well, this wasn't even important to me. This is not, this meets nothing as far as a need of mine. And what I realized was a lot of the things were my ability to, not really ultimately that I wanted the specific things, right? And it was very much a time in my life where I allowed external situations or external things or things I saw to determine what I desire. I allowed the industry in which I operated in, the industry in which I worked in, this online transformational space, to dictate what I wanted, things that I ultimately didn't want. And as time has gone by, and I don't know if it's I got older and more mature or I grew more in the spiritual realm, I really began to get really clear on that a lot of the things I wanted to look good because it looked good for y'all. Maybe I shouldn't say y'all. Maybe I shouldn't be country this week. I probably will, though. Because it looks good to you. Because I wanted to make sure, because how dare I be successful and people not know I'm successful? Now, I hear myself and I hear how that sounds. But this was a reality. And I want to say it probably was circa 15, 16, 17, Stephanie. It was circa Stephanie who couldn't get on a private plane without you knowing I was on a private plane, or being in first class and you not knowing it, or get a new thing and you not know it, or me not show my vacations. And now y'all don't even know when I'm gone until I'm gone and I'm back home. And you want to know why? Is because I don't want to speak to your flesh. My desire is to speak to your spirit, to sail to your spirit, not your flesh. And ultimately, that's not even what you want either, usually. I knew early on that what I desired was beautiful homes. Like those are things, right? But not necessarily the trappings, not necessarily. I personally don't even like modern homes. I remember at one point I was like, well, let me look and see if I can find a modern or contemporary home. To know Stephanie is to know Stephanie loves what? She loves old homes. It's about 200-300 years old that I need to remodel. They make my spirit happy. But what I knew back then is that when look appealing to you. And so I chose what I desired in life based upon what people thought of it. And one surefire test around this, surefire test, is if you got the thing and nobody else saw it, would you still want it? If you get this thing and nobody knows you have it, it's just you and your family, is that still what you desire? Or would you actually want something different? And that's when I really realized Stephanie like old homes, farms. Stephanie want a cow with a bang. It's cute. It's a Highland. It's a Scottish Highland. I like it. It's cute. Stephanie want a baby goat. It took me a long time to really get into that and really recognize, no, this is what I truly desire. Even if not a human being knew I had it. And what you just heard me describe is the difference between what my soul calls me to and the difference between what my ego calls me to. Yeah, I want the baby goat. Don't judge my baby goat. It's true. It's a difference between your ego and your spirit. And I'm going to guarantee you something is what your ego desires, even when you get it. I really hate to hear people say, money won't make you happy. Well, you know what money will? It will buy you health. It'll buy you the things you desire. It will buy you the Highland, the Scottish Highland that run $3,000 a piece. Money will buy you that. Money go buy you the land to put the animals on. Money will buy you that. So we're not going to do that. But what I'm going to tell you is the things don't make you happy. Especially if they're not the things that truly feed your spirit. So I'm different from so many people because I really believe when we start talking about money and tangible things, the reason I do enjoy sharing my heart's desire, and that's why I say you have to ask yourself, if nobody knows I have it, would I still want it? I feel comfortable in sharing that. I don't want what y'all want me to want. I want what I desire. What I desired from a little kid, right? I want that, right? But what I do believe is that through you, through how you live, through your blessings, through your abundance of all things, you show what's possible through God that lives and operates in you. So you'll never hear me talk negatively about money, because money is one of the ways that I show what's possible through God. This little black girl from Birmingham, Alabama, who left school at 16, this little girl who lives the life of her dreams. This little girl, what you see in me is what's possible through God. Your nails hurt. It's what's possible with God. It's what's possible when you realize who lives in you. It's what's possible when you realize who operates through you. And if you truly believe that part, you know that lack isn't even real, nor does it come into your realm, because God is not a God of lack. God is only a God of abundance. God is not a God of sickness, only a God of health. When you recognize these things, then those things aren't actually real in your experience. You may see it, but you don't take that on to be yours. People ask me all the time, I talk very often about how I will empty my bank account to $0 in order to invest in things. I have done it many, 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 many times. Sounds bananas to most people. And when I'm looking from the outside in, when I'm thinking on a physical term, I get it. But I also know who exists in me. I also know lack is not a thing. So just because that account look like zero, that means nothing. Tomorrow it can look like 100,000. Who cares? I don't care, because I know who exists in me as me. So lack is not real. That's only an appearance of a zero in that account. It's an appearance. It's an illusion. I understand what the truth is. But this is only when you recognize who lives in you as you. This is only when you're operating from that space, not your ego space. That's the only time this can happen. Now, let me segue back to clarity because I'm getting off. But usually when I go off, you're getting lessons. Checking the time because I know people are here on their lunch break and you guys are going to have to go by 1. All right. This is extremely important. Let's get back to clarity. So it's important for you to recognize not what your ego wants, but what your spirit wants. Not what your ego wants, but what your soul wants. Not what your ego wants, but what the God in you as you desires for you. If you are interested in travel, it's because God is interested in sharing and showcasing what God is through you, through your travel. If you're interested in art, it's doing art. That's how you express yourself to the world. I was talking to a friend of mine, same friend, I think last night, and we were talking about artists. Listen, everything about ministry. I shifted my business. I finally added ministries. We made it official for the company. And I was telling her, I've always considered, even when I was doing business coaching, I've always considered my work a ministry. My ministry doesn't have to look like me on anybody's platform preaching, but it's the platform doing what God instilled in me, my natural ability. This is my ministry. That was my ministry. So no matter what you're showing up in, if you're great in art, if you're great in music, that is how you share source with the world, regardless of what your belief system is. And I really don't care what you believe in. I really don't care what your religious affiliation is or your spiritual affiliation, because ultimately it doesn't matter. It's all one energy, one source that exists in all of us. And so regardless of what it is you're doing, that is your ministry. And God shows up in us through those things when we are moving in a way that we are following our soul's desire, our soul's calling. That's how God shows up. And that's why it's important for you to be able to separate ego from spirit and soul. Okay? And the reason most people, one of the things, and again, we're digging more into this as the week goes by, but if you follow me on YouTube and you followed any of my teachings or you've been to any of my courses, I talk about a lot about the importance of seeing what you desire, really stepping into the body of the person who has that version of you that exists in a different quantum realm. Tomorrow we're going to, because a lot of you are new here to me in this way. So tomorrow we're going to break down these realms and really get deep into talk about the realms. But it's you seeing the version of you in this other realm. And in this other realm, in this other mansion, there exists that version of you that has the things you desire. The happiness, the health, the wealth, the love, everything you desire, the joy, the peace. I found peace to be the most important thing. And I tell you all the time to be able to step into the body of that version of you and sit and feel into it. Because your subconscious does not know the difference between what's really happening and what is imagined happening, as long as you're truly stepping into it and into the feeling. And again, we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. So if you're a little lost there, no worries, go back through the recording and you will be able to put this together as the week goes through. Your subconscious does not know the difference. And I think this is beautiful about the way God has created the brain, the way God created the conscious and the subconscious, because we really have this power to step into the world that we desire, the quantum that we desire. Well, people tend to struggle holding vision. People tell me all the time they struggle with holding. They can see it, they can get in it, but then they kind of fall off. When something is a true soul's desire and not an ego-based desire, you have no problem holding that vision. You go hold that vision forever because you know it's what God called you to, because you know it's what is. You have no problem holding on to what your soul really wants. The thing that you constantly change from and constantly shift from and constantly have a problem with holding on to is very ego-based. And dare I say, some people don't know what they really want. which is what today is for and what today's homework is going to bring out for you. All right. So the reason most of you aren't getting what you want, or you get what you want and it seems like it leaves quickly, it'll come and go, it'll come and go. And I'll use business as an example. People tend to see they get the money they want, and then what happens to it? They get the following they want, and something happens. They have a hard time holding on to it because it's not even a vision they can hold on to. It's not even anything that they really want. So even if you get it, it's often falling through your hand. And sometimes you don't get it because you don't even really have a clue what it is that you really want. I hope this makes sense to each and every one of you. All right. So today, in today's homework, I am making good time. I am growing up, okay? Growing up from yesterday when it was supposed to be an hour and we were on 2, but I'm growing. The goal for day 1 is to drill into the most basic of your desire, the root of what your desire is. And the reason I say the root is because for most people, and I'm just going to create this scenario. For most people, the desire is, I want a house, or I want a car, I want, and they start naming trappings. They start naming things. Okay. Things are never the root of your desire. Ever. It's never been a thing. It's never been a tangible thing. Whatever the tangible thing is a result of the roots. I want you to remember that because this is going to be really important for homework. Whatever the tangible things are, that if you were to describe what it was that you truly want, there is a root that actually grows that thing. Or as I put it yesterday on yesterday's call, there is a seed. All the fruit that grows, your harvest, there was a seed that was planted. Your goal for today in today's homework is first to write out what you want, what that life would look like as a whole. And then after you write out, and this is important because y'all in these directions, you're going to write out in your journal. You can post it in the group if you want to as well, if you want to share, if you want accountability. You want to write out what it is that your soul desires truly and always, not just financial. And if you find yourself writing things that's just financial, you are compartmentalizing life. And one of the things that a lot of times people ask me how to manifest one thing or this thing or this thing. And we can do that. We do it all the time, actually. But one reason I shy away from those specific conversations, I'll do it for YouTube for SEO because what are people looking up? But when you get into my teachings, what you realize is I shy away from that. And that's because we are whole humans, and compartmentalizing life leaves areas of our lives that we are unfulfilled. And most often, those are the areas that we like to ignore. And so we grow this area of our lives, but then we truly aren't at peace or of joy because we are ignoring the other areas of life. So I like to create and co-create and manifest life as a whole, not just these areas. So if you're writing and you find that you are leaning towards just money, or you're leaning towards just love, or you're leaning towards just health, I want you to get real with yourself. Pause, get real. What area am I ignoring that I'm truly not happy in? And I don't even want to admit to myself I'm not happy in it because I don't want to face that. And I want you to add that because that is something you truly want. Your heart really wants it. All right. That's important. So after you write down what you truly desire, I want you to then look at it and say, what is the root of every bit of this? So for me, I'll tell you root words that I always come back to and always have. Security and freedom are my 2 root words. Security, and you can use safety or security, and freedom. That's what you truly desire. And I want to give you a little hint for myself that I had to come up with. And that's that they both start internally. Actually, everything starts internally, but they both start internally. But it's going to be really important for the rest of this week that you come up with what that root word is, or the root words plural. It's going to be extremely important. Not just for this week, but we're going to need it for the homework, but for you. Because those are the words in which your soul, or the things in which your soul really want. And then the trappings, the things, all those other things, they're the fruit. They're the harvest from those seeds. They're the harvest. And so we need to make sure we figure out what the seeds are. So we'll have those strong roots. So we can have edible, delicious, tantalizing fruit. You guys following me? Right. That is your homework for today. First off, I'm going to give myself a clap, because if you've been here before, you know we do 2 and 3 hours. Give myself a clap. And I'm going to see the comments that I can see for right now. And yeah. So let's see. Mine is freedom and happiness. I've always been told I need tangible. I did an aim for instead. I think it's nice to know what the fruit is, because it grows something. But coming with the root word is amazing. But most times people have to work differently or opposite, because society teaches us to reach for things. That's what society teaches us. Our parents, our civic leaders, social media, everybody teaches us to reach for the things. And those things can easily slip away if you are not clear on what the seed is. It's very important. Let me see. Haven't been to church in years, but you took me there today. And I purposely tried to stay away from churchy. Let me see. Freedom and partnership. Perfect. Okay, you guys keep coming up with this. Put this into your, I'm going to look at the comments later. Put this into your journal. I really want you to get deep. I want you to sit in quiet contemplation and write it down. You can put it in the group if you want to, again, if you want to be held accountable. But this was today. Thank you so much for coming. Today is just the beginning. It's going to get even better. I love you guys. And I am so excited for day 2. And continue to share. Again, I won't be taking this down until probably Sunday. I'll be taking the videos down, removing everyone from the group. But if people get in, say, day 2, day 3, they still have time to catch up with day 1, day 2. So make sure you share quantumleapweek.com so that they can get access to the group. Do not just invite. Don't go into the settings and invite people into the group, because I am going to decline them if they are not actually registered. Okay. All right. It was a pleasure. And I will talk to you guys on tomorrow. Toodles.